Yeah, hi, my name is Christofer Dutz. I'm a senior IoT architect at Timeco Europe and also deeply rooted with the Apache Software Foundation, so a bit of an exotic guy here, but really thrilled to be at EclipseCon this year, or OCX. Oh, it's really interesting and I feel really welcome here. A lot of really nice people, and I guess the one thing we all have in common is our feeling for open source, and yeah, so I feel really welcome here and really great to hear a lot of new things I didn't know before. Yeah, well, let's say building a community that's really challenging. I think that was the one thing I really underestimated when starting PLC4X. We did manage to grow quite an interesting, nice community, but I guess only because I was able to do this full time. Unfortunately, when COVID hit us, that had a pretty big impact on the community, so we've been struggling since then. Yeah, let's say adoption-wise, I would say it's challenging because the automation industry is not quite used to the concept of open source. Still are struggling to sort of like wrap their head around this whole concept. So it's been challenging, but we've had some really great success so far. Well, I think if in the, especially, well, as PLC4X was targeting the automation industry, I would say we need to understand that just because software in the automation industry is not really a pure OT topic, it's more an IT topic, and so I think the industry needs to learn to accept that the let's say outside opinions from IT developers are actually valuable, and maybe start listening to them. Definitely collaboration. So I would say the major thing that I've seen across the entire industry is this fear of somebody else learning something from my company, for example. Everybody's scared to share secrets, but the thing is, this makes them all do the same learning curve themselves. Nobody can profit from the learning somebody else did and maybe save some time and money in trying to figure out things. I think if the industry would start adopting this entire open source mindset, which is more than just the software, it's also sort of like the sharing of ideas, the exchange of experience. If they would learn more of that, I think we would be on a much better path. Yeah, especially with that, I think, and I think it was the really first time the foundations really realized how important collaborating actually is. Because, well, let's face it, the Earth is big. We have many, many countries and many sort of like legal, let's call it just legal districts and it's hard for one foundation on its own to focus on all of them. So especially with CRA in Europe, it's really awesome that the Eclipse Foundation, being rooted in Europe, is able to drive this initiative. I'm pretty sure that as soon as in the US similar regulations will be coming, and well, I guess it's not a question if, but just when. And I'm sure then, for example, the Apache Software Foundation will be more than happy to sort of like take a lead position in helping the European communities. Yeah, well, that's Toddy. So I knew I was starting something completely new in a sector that doesn't know open source. So I needed to make something that people remember me. So I thought, well, I like stuffed animals, and we had a really awesome and cute project mascot in our logo. So why not have one made? So I had Toddy made a custom-made plush animal, and I've been traveling all over conferences since then. And just here at the conference, I think there are 2 people approached me and said, I wasn't sure if it was you, but then I saw the stuffed animal and I knew, yeah, that must be you. So it helps people remember me, and it's sort of like also a little psychological trick to sort of like, if you do something out of the ordinary, people tend to remember what you tell them more than if you're just standing there in a suit. So yeah, running around in a t-shirt with a plush animal, that works perfectly.